How often do you get virgins coming into the brothel? Quite a lot, which I think is cool. When you are like starting with the sex, you don't really know what to do, you know, so it kind of makes sense to pay professional to show you everything. But yeah, then when they are walking from the room, they are like, yay! Which I think it's amazing. My name is Catherine De Noire. I manage a brothel in a European city, and I'm here to answer questions from Honesty Box. What services does your brothel offer? So we don't have any menu list. This is pretty much up to the workers itself, because we never tell them what they should do, what kind of services they should do. So it's pretty much up to them. The range is from like very standard service, you know, the full sex service, until kinky stuff, you know, BDSM thing, lesbian shows, or we have one girl and she does very extreme type of the squirting. How did you get this job? Was there an interview? There was an interview, but before the interview, I actually read an article, and the article was named "Psychologist in a Whorehouse." They call me pimp, but I protect women. And he spoke about how they treat this business as a legitimate business, and how they treat women, you know, that they really respect them. They treat them as independent contractors. And he also spoke about the sexuality behind all of this. And at the same moment, when I finished the article, I decided that I want to do this job. So I wrote them an email the same day, telling them that I want to do this. And then they invited me for the interview, and that's how I got the job. Who are your typical clients? Is it just stag do's? It's not. They are one of the clients. Actually, we have like a lot of British stag do's. They are quite wild. But the typical client actually it's a myth. We have clients from like all over the world. They have like different socioeconomic backgrounds. We have also married guys. This is like quite typical. The married guys just comes in and they just want to have like a different type of the sex, because maybe they are missing the sex like completely in their marriage, and they don't want to find a mistress because they think that this might actually hurt the relationship. So they just decide to pay for the services of professional. And we also have like a lot of disabled people. Some of the girls, they are able to work with disabled people. So yeah, the clients are like very diverse group. What is the most one client has spent in one night? 20,000 euros per night. Yeah. It wasn't like special type of the service. He just walked in and he was like, I have this money, you know, let's just enjoy it. And he spent this on one girl. So it wasn't like, no, all 100, it was just on one girl. She was very happy, you know, when she left the work. What is the wildest fantasy you've ever heard a client ask for? I think the dog fantasy, and this one, it's our regular, and he has a wife. He's like completely normal guy, but he always comes in and he has this like a dog costume with like a little bowls for the snacks and for the water, and he has this like dog collar, and also like this little dog bed. And he always comes in, he stays 8 hours with the girl, and during those 8 hours, he just plays, you know, the dog play. So he's basically a dog, you know, he has his dog name. So she always tells him like, sit down, lay down, you know, there's your treat. And she's allowed to have other customers during this time when he's there. So he's just basically like running around in the room like a dog, you know. Sometimes there's a customer, she's fucking him, and he's just staring there, you know, like a dog. Sometimes he licks the customer, you know, sometimes he chews on the shoes of the customer. So, yeah. And then, like, after the 8 hours is done, you know, he just packs everything and goes to his wife. I mean, that's why I like to work there, you know, because people can get, like, so creative, you know, and they just, like, play around. It's amazing. Are you a pimp? I mean, some people call me that. I don't call myself like that, you know.
What do you think of the word pimp?
I mean, I don't like it so much. It kind of like resembles the old stereotype, you know, that pimp is like somebody who's taking all the money. So this is not what I do, you know. And also like the pimp, it's usually, it is connected with some sort of violence. And this is like what we are trying to protect the women from. So I wouldn't call myself a pimp, not at all. How do you keep sex workers safe? So first of all, every room has a panic button. The rooms that are like a little bit bigger, they have like more than one, and they are like hidden. So it's not so visible, but the sex workers always know where to find them and like how to press them. And we have also security that are trained to be in a room within 8 seconds from the time when the panic button is pressed. So this is one of the things. The second thing, that there are like cameras everywhere, not in the room obviously, but anywhere in the hallways, in the restaurant, so everywhere there are cameras. And we also cooperate with the police. So if there is like any problem, we just call the police. And this is one of the things that we can do because we operate legally. But if there is like any danger and the brothels or the sex work itself, it's illegal, that means that there is like no protection for the workers. So this is how we keep them safe. Who's the oldest customer you've ever had? I think he's like 90 or something, and he still goes there every week, and he's really going for it hard.
What does he ask for when he comes in?
Like a normal sex, but it's like 30 minutes of like constant fucking. Yeah. What's the right term for people working in brothels? I just call them girls, not because I don't respect them, but I just call them girls because we know each other for such a long time, and I feel like really about like talking about them and calling them like sex workers might seem like a little bit distant. But yeah, the right term is sex workers. But often when we speak with each other, you know, the girls call each other like a whore, you know, and sluts. So for them it's okay because like they are part of this group, but like if you go to the brothel, just don't call them sluts, unless they don't want to. How often do you buy new sheets? A lot. I mean, we have like disposable ones, and we order like the new ones almost every week. And we order it's like in 100s, you know, so in hundreds. What are the weirdest things clients request? Many things. Once we get a married couple, and they walked in, and she walked in for the interview, you know, that she wants to work there. So I sat down with her, and I was like, so? She was like, yeah, well, my husband is here, and like we have this fantasy that I will be like a dirty whore, and he would pay for me. Is that possible? So I was like, yeah, it's possible, you know, we still need to go through the whole interview. You need to sign some papers. So we did that, and she had the costume, you know, like little sexy lingerie. She stand in front of the room, and there was this, you know, like a customer, you know, her husband, and they just had fun, you know. And one of the weirdest things, actually, this is like our regular guy. He comes in like once a month. He's married, I think, and he always chooses a girl, and like if she agrees, he pays for a taxi to travel like 2 hours from the club to this very special place, and the very special place is cemetery. But they don't do anything sexual there. In this cemetery there is a grave of his father. So they drive there 2 hours, they share a cigarette, like 10-minute cigarette, and then they drive back 2 hours again. He pays, I think, 2,000 euros for this. So yeah, this is also like type of the customers that we have. Do you ever offer refunds? So we have like a special budget for this, but we don't usually do this. It really depends on the type of the situation. So some of the clients, they they pay for 1 hour, but they stay like 5 minutes, and then they decide, the wife is just not here, you know, we don't fit with each other, and that's when they ask for a refund, and this is okay for us. But when they pay for like 2 hours, they stay there for 2 hours, and like after 2 hours, they come to me and they're like, I didn't like it, you know, I want my money back. So I always ask them like, why you stayed the whole time, you know, it's like going to the restaurant, eating the whole food, and then you would go to the waitress and you would be like, I didn't like the food, you know, give me the money back. How many people come per night? It can be anywhere from like 500 and up to 1,000. So usually the most busiest day, it's Valentine's Day, and also the weekends. This is like when usually we get like 1,000 people coming in.
When's the quietest time?
Christmas. Definitely Christmas. Yeah. People like to spend the time with their families, you know. How often do you get virgins coming into the brothel? Quite a lot, which I think is cool. A lot of the people, they like to try something new, and I think it's cool. But also when you are like starting with the sex, you don't really know what to do, you know, so it kind of makes sense to pay professional to show you everything, you know, and it really makes sense, you know, to go to the brothel to try it for the first time. And actually, like, once we got a guy, and he didn't even come for a sex, he was a virgin, and he was like, I don't want to have a sex, but like, I want you, not me personally, but the sex worker, I want you to show me like what I should do, like how I should touch the women. And I think this is cool, you know, to make like this little preparation before actually doing it. And sometimes we have older guys coming in, and they like, yeah, you know, I'm a virgin, and they are like really ashamed of it, which I think it's a pity. But yeah, then when they are walking from the room, they are like, yay, which I think it's amazing. Do you think sex work should be legalized? For sure, because legal sex work, it's much more safer than illegal one, because if you operate illegally and something happened, then you can't call the police, you know, then you can't go to the doctor, you know, because they will ask questions, and if you will be like, yeah, well, this happened when I was working, you know, in a sex work, you will be in a danger. So I think it should definitely be legalized. What's the most requested services? Definitely anal sex. Most of the guys, apart from like the normal sex, most of the guys, they like to try to be penetrated. So I would say like the second most requested services, apart from the normal sex, which is kind of boring, is the anal sex. Do women ever come into the brothel? They do, and I think it's cool because sometimes they come with in the groups, and they are like, yeah, we would like to see some like very nice strip show. Some of them, they just come like individually, and they are like, I mean, I would like to try it so badly, but I just like gather up the courage, and now I'm here. So we have a few girls that are actually capable of catering those services, but not every sex worker is willing to do that, because it's like different dynamic, you know. Sometimes the girls, they have this like almost choreography, how to do the thing with the guy, but not with the girl. They're like, what am I supposed to do?
Do you find that men and women act differently when they come in?
I would say that women are definitely much more humble, you know. They are like, yeah, I'm just here, you know, to enjoy. But the guys, they can be like sometimes, I'm going to fuck all 100 women here. Obviously, they will not, you know. How much money can a sex worker make per month? A lot. So the best earning girls with us, they make around 50,000 euros per month. I would say like the average is like 20,000. This is like definitely doable. But some of the girls, they have this just like a part-time job, so they are fine with like 5,000 euros per month. And this is pretty much up to them. Why do you do this job? This is a good question. I mean, I just like it. I mean, I love the industry. I love the girls. It's amazing to see customers enjoying themselves. It's also amazing to see like girls growing up so much like personally. Also, they can become like very independent person, you know. I see them setting up their boundaries, you know, learning how to communicate, and it's really good to see like this personal growth. And I just love the industry as a whole. And also I like to be around people, and I think like working in sex field, it's amazing because you get to see like the behind of scenes, and that's what I like. Has anyone famous ever come in? Yes, but I'm not allowed to tell the names, so, but yes. So when there is somebody famous, they usually come with a secret entrance, and they just like quickly go to the room and like trying to be unnoticed. How often do people ask for threesomes? A lot. So we do have a lot of partners coming in, you know, they ask for a threesome. Sometimes we do have guys, like two friends, they are asking for a threesome, you know. And one of the weirdest requests actually for the threesome was that when there was like two guys coming in, they were friends, and the girl, she was like, yeah, I love to do the threesome. So they started, and like all of a sudden, you know, the guys just basically started to fuck each other, and she was like, am I needed here, you know? So yeah. Is going to a brothel cheating? Well, I would say it depends on the personal view of the person, you know, because most of the people, they would say yes, you know, it's a cheating if you have a partner. But from what I saw, from what I've seen, is that some type of the relationships are like open type of the relationships, you know, and they have the sexual freedom, so that means that there is no cheating. And also, it's like a little bit, this is like tough, because sometimes you are in a relationship where everything works, but just not the sex, you know, and then you have this question, it's like whether I'm going to find myself a mistress and to really find myself another relationship, or I will pay professionally, you know. And most of the people, they would say like paying for professional is not so, it's not so severe like finding yourself a partner. So I wouldn't say it's cheating. Hardest part of the job. So for me, as a girl, it's kind of hard to be a manager because everybody expects that I will be a guy. So when the new sex workers that are coming in, and when they can see that I'm a girl, and they're like, wait a second, you know. Also the guys, they are like a little bit unsure when they need to deal with me, you know, like when they need to speak about their problems, you know, what happened in the room. So they are like a little bit shy to speak with a girl. And definitely also it's really hard to actually establish the relationship with the girls, because they don't trust people easily. So when they are coming in and they are like very suspicious, you know, like what is this person? And part of my job is to be there for them, you know, to create safe environment. So it really takes a lot of time to actually make them feel comfortable around like general us as a managers, you know, not just me. Can you be a feminist and work in a brothel? I think that you need to be a feminist in order to work in a brothel. Sex work, it's about deciding about your own sexuality, you know, and that's very feministic. Worst client, the drunk ones.
Why are they so bad?
Well, because they don't understand the rules, you know, because when they get too drunk, they think that they can do anything, but that's actually not true, you know. So sometimes the people think that it's just a good idea to take off their pants, you know, to start like running around naked, and you're like, this is not what we do here, you know. Are the clients allowed to kiss workers? This is up to them. So most of the girls, they don't like to be kissed because for them it's like very private thing, you know, and it's also not very hygienic. But some of them, they like it, and it's pretty much up to them. And it also depends like customer by customer, you know. And it's definitely extra. It's going to cost you a lot of money. Are you desensitized to sex? I would say I definitely take sex differently than when I started there. And I actually take sex like much more playfully, you know, because I saw a lot of different approaches to sex. So I would say like I'm actually the opposite of desensitized.
All shapes and sizes, kinky ones, long ones, short ones, thick, short ones, thin, tall ones, you know. I think, I don't know, 6 inches that I can get my fingers round.